Wait, is this on? Are we on? Now we're on. Hello. How are you? Good. I feel like there should be like a chair and like a drink on this table and just like hanging out. God, it's so good to be here and see everybody. It's kind of fun when you know like most of the people in the room, except it's also really hard because you got to say hello to everybody and have all these conversations. I haven't mastered that yet without being like, halfway in the middle of one sentence starting another one. But it's so good to have you here. It's great to be in this room. So this is the first time we're in this room. However, it's the 10th time that we're doing this, right? We started 10 years ago outside in the other room where many of you have seen this event take place. And that first year, we kind of knew what we were doing, and we pulled it off, and we were really successful. And you're going to see some of the products of that success in a few minutes after we make a couple introductions. And then you're going to see the success of the following 10 years, and then you're going to see the success of this year. I should start off by introducing myself. If you don't know who I am, Gilad Rosenzweig. This is a tough one to say. I am the director of MITdesignX, yet I'm also moving on to something else that some of you already know, and many of you got that letter. But I'm actually not leaving MITdesignX. All right, that's the big surprise. Because as Dennis Frenchman, who created MITdesignX 10 years ago, said, you never leave MITdesignX. So even though I'm going to be going and working on some other things in this world, I'm actually not leaving MITdesignX. I'm going to be involved in all the great successes, hope to be involved in all the great successes that come out of this program. We're still working with people who were in this program 10 years ago, all right? And yeah, there she is. You're the big surprise we're gonna talk about in a minute. And we're working with anybody we've ever kind of crossed our path. We keep that conversation. Doesn't matter what we do afterwards. And we let people know, and this is true for MIT to a degree, but I really want to say it's true for MITdesignX, that we really treat everybody who's in this program and works with this program as family. And you don't leave your family. You keep on working and celebrating together and supporting one another. So I'm so happy to be part of this program. And I'm so happy that all the people in this room are part of this program, right? We have people who are taking part in the program, who have been running the program, who are mentors in the program, and are friends of this program. And so first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I really want to thank you for being part of this family, because we're not just here doing work, right? Work is, if you just say you're going to work, that's boring, right? We're here to create, we're here to interact, have fun, and change the world, right? That's why people come to this program. And that's why you all came to this event today, right? You didn't just come to see yet another event, right? We kind of have a purpose here. And that's what always kept me going, that keeps all my colleagues going, is the products of what happens here. Now, the people who do the work, the most important people here, of course, are all the teams, all the students in this program who are actually, because we just say, hey, that's a great idea, then we go have our coffee and we expect you to work. It's so much easier. Those people who are going to be on the stage in a few minutes when we let them, they're going to be showing you what they've been doing for the last 6 months. Right? For many of them, 6 months ago, it was an idea. And now they have pretty damn good ventures to display and to show and to grow. And we want you, right, not just to watch and enjoy and be amazed by them. We want you to interact with them. We want you to follow them, maybe work for them, maybe invest in them. Definitely invest in them, right? And support them, all right? It's your job. So everybody here is in the audience. Your job is, you're not just an observer, right? You have some work to do after this program, after this event ends today. And we want you to be in touch. So before we get going with this formal show, First of all, I want to ask here, okay, who here, who's been here before? Raise your hand. All right, so we got, which is a good sign, right? You want to have return customers. We always tell the teams, right? You get the customer once. If you come back again, it means you're doing something good. So if you're back here again, obviously you liked what you saw last year or the year before. Who here has been working as a mentor with teams? Okay, quite a few, right? Thank you. So mentorship is a key, like probably the key component to this program, right? It's not enough. We don't just teach. We always say, Svav and I, that we don't lecture. In fact, we don't lecture, right? We run workshops. And then mentors are this extra part. Extra is not the right word. This incredibly important part of the program, which again bridges academia with practice. And that's a big component of our program as well. So we've been working on this now for this cohort for the last 6 months. Back in, was it November or December that we had our pitch in? November, right? So back in November, back last fall, we did the call for applications like we do every year, and we see these new teams come in, all these students apply to come into the program. It's very competitive, right? And we tell the teams here, they know it because they competed, right? We had a lot of teams this year, the most ever. I don't want to blank on over, do you remember? 200 applicants, right? Over 80 teams? 90? Between 80 and 90 teams this year with over 200 students. Students, faculty, staff, researchers, and friends and family of them applied to get into this program. We could only take 12, right? It's hard, it's painful. We have to turn down people, which is always awful. But that's how we get these 12 amazing teams every year. And now those 12 teams, they came in with ideas, and then we put them through boot camp back in January, where we always joke, we're here to kill your idea, right? In a good way, right? The job is not to say, yeah, that's great, keep on doing your work, right? The job of a mentor, of an advisor, and a faculty is to say, always question, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And poke holes. And you should poke holes in your own work yourself, everybody, right? You should always question what you're doing. Never be complacent with the results. Always kind of thrive to do more. And then eventually, though, right, you have to actually make decisions and do the work. But they went through this really fun boot camp. You guys have fun in boot camp? Yeah. Right? All the teams here? Right? Boot camp's a lot of fun. Anybody here who hasn't participated in it, definitely come next year. By the way, our doors are open, so just walk in. And it's a time when people come together as a cohort, right? We don't just have 12 teams, we have a cohort. We have a group of people that has been supporting and helping one another. And again, that's what makes this program so great. And then they went through the entire spring through this, we have a pretty solid curriculum where we take you step by step, but we also make you go in circles and get to a point where you develop this amazing venture. It's no longer just an idea. It's actually something that has legs, something that creates value, that has a business model and an organization to make sure that idea turns into action, which is our motto somewhere, right? We used to have a banner that would say actions to ideas right next to me, and I would point at it. I think it's out in the hallway. And today is action, all right? So I want to, I think I'm just going to pass it on to you, Svava. You knew you were going to speak. I wasn't
I was just relaxing over here.
Don't get relaxed. Never be relaxed. You never know when somebody's going to call on you to talk. But it's my pleasure. Oh, God, I said it for the last time? No. It's my pleasure to bring my big hug.
I'm going to miss him so much.
To bring my co-director and everything that we've been doing for the past 10 years when we were first together in this room, to kind of give us some words of
of something.
A charge. You give us the
Ooh,
charge,
okay,
right? Right? That's what you do at commencement?
Okay. He finishes all my sentences, you know. That's kind of how it works. So thank you. And welcome. How are you feeling? Okay? We're doing okay? You ready to pitch? Where are the teams? Are you ready to pitch? Yeah. I feel like whoa, I like that. Automatic prize over there. I was saying to the teams, we've been doing this massive pitch training, which will definitely pay off today. But I feel like I'm pitching. So I'm not going to talk, because I don't think I can talk until after we're done. But my role here is just to introduce a video by one of our talented alumni. Many of you know her, Norhan Bayomi. She has created the Futures in the Making video for DesignX, which kind of talks about what DesignX is, where we came from, where we're going, who you all are. And you're going to see the multiple phases of DesignX. So anyone in that video has gone through the program or supported the program or envisioned the program. And I can't wait to show it to you. But before I do that, I want to thank everybody and their grandmother for obviously being here and supporting us. But I want to thank Gilad, because I can't believe we're going to go next 10 years, and he is kind of in the orbit, but he is out in industry, as many of you know, spreading his wings, charting the next part of his career. But he keeps coming back, and we get to have you in the orbit. But also, I don't know where you are, Carlos and Tom and Marcelo. You kind of staffed up, and we couldn't be here without you. But more importantly, and maybe most of all, Lauren, wherever you are, we are all here because of Lauren. Our quiet, humble, but a miracle worker, Lauren, who is our program coordinator. So thank you, Lauren. It's been amazing, the work she's put in to get us to this point. So, and of course, to all of you, I see a lot of our collaborators in this room and the mentors. Thank you. I know I don't say it enough, but I'm saying it now again. But we have people from Sandbox and PKG and all our collaborating programs. Misty, we wouldn't be here without you. So it takes a village. It literally takes a village to support the teams. But it also takes a village to create a program like this for the last 10 years. But of course, the most important people in the room are the teams. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. You're going to pitch the heck out of this day. And I think we need to give them a little bit of support. How about that? Woo! You guys have put in so much work, and some people say that venture design is an act of love. You know, act of love. And the reason we say that is because what you guys have dared to do is you've had the humility to stand in the shoes of the people you're aiming to serve. You've taken the time to really understand the innovation context. You have then created solutions with purpose to make sure that they are purposely responding to that context so you can have the impact we now see. And with that said, I think you're ready to see the impact that these teams have been making for the last 10 years. And I think I give you, Norhan, are you over there? This is Norhan, created the video. And she's going to dim the lights. Woo! And she's a research scientist here. She's an artist, but she's a 2-time DesignX alumni. No one has ever gone through DesignX twice. 2 companies thriving in the world. And we're going to see how it all happened. Okay.
Ten years ago, 17 students asked a question: could design be a catalyst for change? They didn't rush to answer. They listened. They imagined, reimagined. They explored and co-created. They learned from the world before they tried to shape it. And what they envisioned, they built. Working with the world, not on it. Designing with people, not for them. Building solutions only where it was actually needed. Then the work left the room. It became companies, products, places, and systems. Over 300 ventures across 6 continents, improving the lives of over 100 million people and the planet they share. None of this happened by accident. It came from a way of thinking that designers and innovators have spent decades shaping. As we rapidly shift from the information age to the imagination age, where creativity and imagination have become the reigning value of our time, design has become an essential partner to science and technology for the creation of new, impactful solutions. By translating complex contexts into meaningful insights to frame purposeful action for real-world impact. The act of designing is a vehicle for transformation. It is a way of seeing and being in the world. For 10 years, DesignX has been a catalyst for change, carried forward by changemakers, students, alumni, mentors, and partners who look at the world, embrace its complexity, and see what it could become. DesignX began with the people who imagined it. And one voice daring to dream. A friend, a mentor, an early force in shaping what this program became. It continues because of everyone daring to envision how we live, play, and work in a more sustainable and equitable world. And the people who carry it forward are everywhere, in studios, in labs, in cities, in places where the next ideas are forming.
That was beautiful. Amazing. Wow. That's like, I mean, I was inspired already, but this is making me even more inspired, right? This is going to go on for a long time now, right? These are all the companies that have come through DesignX, both here at MIT, but also in our programs that we run around the world. We're in Dubai and in Venice and in Stockholm and in Reykjavik, Mexico City, Hong Kong, Arles in the south of France. I'm forgetting something, hopefully not, and so many others. And what are we, close to 300 ventures that have gone through this program. And every year now we're adding dozens around the world. We're also working online with a lot of companies and students who are going through our online professional education programs. Because again, our objective is not to make this exclusive, not to keep this a secret, but to make sure that as many people as possible go through this program, go through the methodology that we really believe in and that we see actually works. All right, so a couple introductions I want to make. First of all, we have three people here joining us today at the table at the front, and these are our judges. And we have judges because this is a pitch. It's a pitch event. It's pitch and demo day, but we also add some competition to it, right? As we said, everybody who got into the program, the 12 teams who got into the program, you already won because you got into the program. And you're all going to be the successful ventures that you are. But we're adding a couple extra prizes to make this even more fun. We have 3 prizes: innovation, most innovative, most impactful, and best presentation. And one other thing I'll announce in a second. And these prizes are going to be decided upon by our 3 judges that we have here today. Jim Koenig, Varda Mehta, and, raise your hand and let's clap for you. So Jim is an alumni of MIT and has been working closely actually with us. He was at the Pitch In Day he wasn't a judge, but he was present at Pitch In Day back in November, and super interested and believes in what we do and wants to support, and he is supporting what we do, both DesignX the program, but more importantly, he's going to be giving even more support to teams here. In addition to the 3 prizes that DesignX delivers, we're also going to be, you're going to be delivering a safe investment opportunity. Well, not just an opportunity, a safe investment to one of the teams today. And that'll be presented then, and you'll get more information about that when the time comes. Varden is one of the 2 co-founders of ACE Lab, together with Dries Carmelit, who is a student here who we sadly lost a couple years ago. And the 2 of you created an incredible business. Just 6 years ago, you were on the stage, and now you're employing about, 100 people at a company called ACE Lab. And you're here today, and thank you very much. And Marion Cunningham, who is a fellow DUSP alumna we're both DUSPers, of MIT. And she is I keep on saying associate, but managing director of MAD, the Morningside Academy for Design, of which DesignX is a pillar of. So we are the entrepreneurial pillar of the program, and we've been working ridiculously closely together now for the past few years. And Marion has been following also what we do and what the teams do, and I'm so happy that you're here as our 3rd judge. So in a few minutes, we're going to have the pitches, and I'll just let you know the format because we're going to get right into this as soon as our guest speaker gives her charge. We're going to have all 12 teams come up and present and give their 5-minute pitches in sort of lightning, what do we call it? Lightning pitches, right? There'll be no Q&A in between the pitches. It's just going to be straight up pitches. The judges already had a chance to meet with all the teams out there, do some research on the teams as well. They'll get even more information. So there's not going to be Q&A. We're just going to be going straight. All the teams, you know your order, so they know their order. And just a quick note, make sure you're mic'd up when the team in front of you is on stage. Make sure you get there so we can then get you up on stage. We'll clap and welcome you up as you come. But before that, I'd like to introduce Nusha Ghali, who is from our very, very first cohort. And so Nusha is co-founder of BioBot. I'll let you probably mention more what BioBot does. I won't spoil that. But you came in, and you and Mariana, your partner, were kind of the epitome of what we were looking for at day one. Research scientists, PhD student, one of you at the time, one coming from biology, one coming from planning and architecture. And it came all together because you had this question, what could we do to improve the health of our cities, and how could technology be involved? And it was kind of all this really amazing ideas. And you came into DesignX and boom, you created it. And you're doing so well. So I'd like to invite Nusha to come up here and get us going.
All right, is this working? Yes. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. As Gilad said, my name is Nusha Ghali, and I'm co-founder of BioBot Analytics. And 10 years ago, I was sitting exactly where these teams are sitting today. I was nervous, I was excited, I was probably a little unsure whether I was building a company or just a really compelling slide deck. That was, as you now know, the first cohort of DesignX, and along with my co-founder, Mariana Matus, we were building Urban Diagnostics, a company that was transforming city sewage into public health data. Thankfully, the first thing that DesignX taught us was that our name sucked. So many agonizing brainstorms later, BioBot Analytics was born. I'm going to now share a little bit about the next 10 years because I think it really says something about how this program and this community are building the foundation for what's to come for a lot of the teams. So BioBot started from a very simple but stubborn belief that wastewater, sewage, the stuff that you flush down the toilet and forget about, contain a treasure trove of public health data. Drug use, disease, nutritional patterns, a city's biology in real time, without anyone having to answer a survey or go see the doctor. Mariana and I had already spent a couple years as research collaborators here at MIT, working on the science. So we had a proof of concept, but what we didn't have was a company. We believed in the value of the data, but we didn't know who else would, how to get to them, and how to convince them to use our product. That's where MITdesignX came in. I found that many and most entrepreneurship curricula start with the business, the market size, the unit economics, the pitch. MITdesignX starts with design thinking. It's the discipline of understanding deeply and empathetically the people and the problem that you're addressing. That methodology, rooted in the pedagogy of architecture and planning, turns out to be a really extraordinary foundation for building a company. So one of the most important things that we did during our time at MITdesignX was go deep on our users. And I don't mean like surface level deep or we talked to 5 people deep. We really immersed ourselves into the world of government and public health. We talked to elected officials, public health officials, epidemiologists, wastewater treatment plant operators, so people who had never thought about sewage as health data before. And we were very aggressive. Don't take for granted the kind of access that you have with that MIT email address. So really use that while you have it. Let me give you an example. We were cold emailing every US mayor whose email address we could find online, manually building the lists one by one. And this was before you could ask an AI to do it for you in 30 seconds. And one reply came back right away from a small city in Indiana. Driving, call my cell. I called. It was Pete Buttigieg, mayor of South Bend at the time. So in these discussions with people like Pete, we wanted to understand what was their biggest public health priority? What data did they use and what data did they trust? What would it take for them to stake their professional credibility on a startup that wants them to look in the sewers? Then Mayor Buttigieg really cared about tackling a growing overdose crisis in his city, which ended up actually becoming our first product. So that obsessive, empathetic curiosity about the person on the other side of your idea, the person that's actually living the problem that you're tackling, is something that MITdesignX gave us and that really launched us and the company. So within 8 months of doing our demo day, we went on to do Delta V. We raised our first venture dollars, and months later got into Y Combinator. Every step built on the last. But I'm convinced that the foundation that we built here was one of the reasons that we were still standing when the world changed. So March 2020, COVID-19. The country was shutting down and nobody knew for how long or where it was going. Testing was scarce, data was unreliable, and public health officials were largely flying blind. But we knew that wastewater had a role to play. So at this point, we had spent 3 years building the infrastructure and learning how to foster trust with cities and utilities. We had the science, but more important, we knew the users, so we could empathize with the problem that they were facing when COVID hit. Within weeks, BioBot became part of the national COVID response. We scaled from a handful of cities to hundreds by May 2020. Mayors were citing our data in press conferences, the CDC was paying attention, and we were briefing the White House. We were measuring the pandemic in real time, weeks before clinical cases showed up in hospitals. Now, I don't think that only happened because we had a good idea. I think it happened because we knew our users. And so when they faced one of the biggest challenges of their careers, we knew how to help, and we knew how to be ready for that moment. So here's what I want the DesignX class to take away from that story. Bet on your problem, not just your idea. Because ideas change, they're contextual, and yours will too. The pivot that you're gonna make in 1 or 2 years might not look anything like the deck that you're presenting today, and that's okay, that's progress. But if you're anchored to a real problem that disrupts lives or limits human potential or goes stubbornly unsolved, then you have something to return to every single time your idea shifts. So that problem is gonna be your North Star. The last 10 years have only confirmed that our problem is worth solving. The opioid epidemic, COVID-19, monkeypox, bird flu, hantavirus, Ebola. We will always need timely and reliable public health data. Today, BioBot still works with hundreds of cities across the country. We continue to work with federal agencies. We've now partnered with top pharma companies to support their vaccine response. And we're playing a role in health surveillance for the upcoming FIFA World Cup in the US. So one more thing before we get to the pitches, and I think Gilad and Svava did a really good job already talking about this, but DesignX gave me and gave BioBot a community that we have come back to many times over the last 10 years. Fellow founders and mentors turned friends and colleagues. And truly, Svava and Gilad, thank you for all the support over the last 10 years. And even some of those very early users we interviewed are either still customers or we remain close to them today, including Buttigieg. So I'm really excited to hear from the newest additions to this village, to the DesignX community. Let's get started with the pitches.
Thank you.
So I'm going to turn into the announcer that you're not going to see now. And I'm just going to be announcing our teams as they come up here. And I want to hear a big round of applause. Are you guys ready? For our first team pitching for the 10th annual DesignX Pitch Day, Illume. Yeah. They'll start on that.
Oh, you're so talented.
Aha.
Okay. 50 million people are trafficked right now across the globe. But it's not some kind of like hidden underground problem that happens to people in back alleyways. I mean, it happens to people at your local middle school, someone in your neighborhood, someone that you might know. Because the truth is that trafficking happens because perpetrators take advantage of those that are desperate for love and support. They weasel their way into your lives, acting as a savior, and make you fully dependent on the perpetrator for survival. So how does anyone get out? Well, there are social services designed to help people get back on their feet through getting housing, jobs, food, those kinds of things. Because if they don't, the likelihood of being re-trafficked is almost 50%. So if they stay, that drops down to 10%. But staying isn't that simple. I mean, there's many life circumstances that can cause someone to leave a social service, like running away, traffic or re-entering your life. You don't know. And social services don't have a way of reconnecting with these people once they've left because they're not search and rescue. That's not what they're designed to do. So how do we actually keep these people connected and make sure that that survivors get the critical support that they need?
The way we do this in a safe, reliable way is with our line of discrete wearables that function as an always available lifeline between survivors and the people they trust most. Inside each of these wearables, there's circuitry with 3 main components. One of them is an eSIM chip that enables the device to send out text messages just like any cell phone can. A GPS chip, so that these messages can have useful information about location. And a button for a simple, subtle interface for our users. And since this hardware is so lightweight and modular, we can put it into all kinds of casings. And they can be extremely inconspicuous, because it matters to us that a trafficker isn't going to just take the device, that it looks just like any other cheap carabiner, bracelet, or necklace. We're going to initially distribute these devices through social services like aftercare. And they'll get their way into the hands of survivors who work with these aftercare programs. We want our device to prompt a conversation between the aftercare advocate and the client that they work with, one that answers the all-important safety question of, what do we do when something goes wrong? Who do we talk to? And how do we actually take action to talk to them? Our device gives that answer. All you have to do is plug it into a laptop and configure who you want to talk to, what you want to tell them, and whether you want to tell them your location when you press the button. And then by setting up a list of contacts, you can unplug the laptop, and all it takes is a press of the wearables button for it to activate and send this set of text messages. The value we bring over existing emergency tech in this space is our ruggedness and our standalone ability. Because as soon as we're disconnected from the laptop, you don't need any more hardware to send out this message. And why do we care about being rugged and minimal? Because the primary way that aftercare clients lose contact with their advocates is by just losing contact by not having consistent access to technology. So we're working with a completely different user base than existing technology that depends on a cell phone access or an app to use. And so we are an off-grid solution to a very off-grid problem.
So what we're really looking at is how can we make this safe and reliable. So we've been speaking with a bunch of people that directly interface with survivors of trafficking every day. We're talking district attorneys, survivors themselves, advocates, people that run anti-trafficking task forces, because they are the ones that have the in-depth understanding of the problem, and that's critical for us to make sure that people feel empowered by using it, and so that we can actually go along with current initiatives instead of trying to strike out on our own. And another thing that this informed is that we don't want to sell to survivors. We don't want them to have to focus on payments when they should be focusing on recovery. So what we're selling instead is to make these contracts with governments, to have them distribute to the social services, to have them distribute to the survivors, so then everyone can focus on getting help. So right now, what we're doing is we're doing a co-design with some of these groups to further develop the hardware and the form factor to make sure that we are ready for a pilot program where we can test how effective our technology is. And once we've done that, we're planning to take that data and eventually bring that to the international domestic violence scene, because trafficking is actually just the economic result of domestic violence. So we want to see how effective our technology can be at the international scale. My name is Mila Kaplan, and I'm dedicated to developing technology for empowering people.
My name's Evan Lim. I'm a mechanical engineer who loves making impactful designs.
And when we talked to advocates about the one thing that they would give survivors in their time of need, it was always the strength to leave. And we want our technology to help support that.
No one should ever feel like their only option is going back to their trafficker.
So we're building technology so that no one has to be victimized again. Thank you.
So, energy demand in this country is skyrocketing. How much? Up to 25% in the next 4 years, up to 75% by 2050. But there are good news. We don't need to burn this planet to reach our goals, to supply the demand. Because wind, solar, and other renewable energies are also skyrocketing, and also much cheaper. So it seems like the perfect fit, right? Clean generation, high demand. Well, actually, that's not the case. Because of transmission. Because the way we carry energy from A to B. This is what we have been doing this like for 100 years, all around the world, scarring our landscapes, cutting our cities. This means a drop in value for nearby properties of about like 45%. This is worldwide. This is happening everywhere in the world. And communities, of course, have to make something about it. They make opposition, protest, and start litigations. This is a huge problem also for the industry because it means it gets the project cost higher in 60%. This is, in its core, a problem for utility companies and communities, and it's about design. That's why Synergy, we're a design company. We test, design, deploy better and new next-generation energy infrastructures, especially transmission lines, power pylons.
At Synergy, we don't consider this just as a social problem. We are looking at it as an opportunity to fix everything that is wrong about, even technically, with this 100-year-old design. And how do we do that? First, cost. The standard lattice tower structure weighs around 30 tons. Our design weighs 20 tons. That's 33% lesser material. The current design occupies 245 square meters of land. Our design occupies only 30 square meters. That's 8 times lesser footprint, lesser land disruption, and lesser environmental impact. While the current assembly takes a week to just put together 3 pylons, we can put together 3 pylons in just 1 day. That's 7 times faster construction. Second, performance. Current designs still use hanging ceramic insulators to carry the wires. What we do is we use state-of-the-art technology to embed the insulators within the structure that can carry much more electrical capacity and reduces the visual clutter. Standard designs have around 1,800 joints, and what we have is just 20 joints. The lesser the joints, the lesser the reason for failure, the easier and safer the maintenance. And lastly, the social component, community engagement. We make communities a part of our design and siting process since day one. And what is usually a monofunctional dry corridor just serving as a corridor to take transmission lines becomes a polyfunctional public space that is actually a community amenity. And instead of imposing infrastructure people reject onto our landscapes, we really celebrate the identity of a place by bringing together local culture, local labor, and local material.
In the next decade, the US alone needs to build enough of these transmission lines to circle the world 3 times, 5,000 miles a year. It's currently a $30 billion industry in the US, or about $1.6 billion spent on design and engineering. When we narrow that down to tower design specifically, that's about $60 million for each of the major transmission builds in the US each year. They're about 5 to 10 per year. We're also talking to major utilities internationally. Iceland, Estonia, Peru, Colombia, Chile, fast-growing markets that are interested in experimenting with brand new designs. Synergy operates in 2 modes. One is a solution provider working directly with utilities to design new projects, and 2 is a licensor commercializing our R&D with an IP wing that lets us scale globally without building every project. By 2030, we're moving our first set of prototypes from design and simulation into full-scale proofs of fabrication and installation. Renzo, Priyanka, and I have worked in utility assets, urban design, community engagement, and industrial architecture. So we are a team that can stand at the intersection of engineering performance, community process, and design. As architects, we embrace our role as orchestrators using design to align the needs of utilities and communities. Synergy, power in place.
Excellent. Okay, clicker, awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, ready? Okay, let's welcome our next team, Visible.
Hello, everyone. Today we're presenting Visible, a data-driven tool for local governments. Picture the Gomez family. They live in an informal settlement, shaped by unplanned growth and a lack of basic services. They have no official address, they have no access to clean water, and they have no bus stop nearby. They live in a neighborhood that for decision makers is invisible. Cut across town, Valeria is a municipal urban planner. and her job focuses on the urban and social integration of informal settlements. However, Valeria is working blindly. She doesn't know how many new houses there are, she doesn't know how much water they consume, and she doesn't know their commute patterns. There is no reliable nor updated data of these areas in the city, resulting in ineffective urban interventions. And this isn't an isolated case. Over 113 million people across Latin America live in informal settlements. These territories are expanding faster than local governments can map or plan. And what cannot be seen cannot be managed, or it's managed poorly.
This is why we created Visible, a data-driven tool that empowers urban planners to make better decisions on informal settlements. Our tool compiles, analyzes, and forecasts scattered data into one single decision-driven tool for the territory. Before Visible, all the planners were working under constant pressure to deliver rapid responses, with fragmented data, limited coordination, and high bureaucratic burden. We take that challenge, and what we do is integrate multiple existing data sources, such as, for example, social demographic data, housing, infrastructure, among many others. This helps act faster and justify the decisions that we made with evidence. Visible creates value for each stakeholder at once. As we see here, politicians, for example, they can show results and also better allocate their resources. Planners, like Valeria, they can save time and now create these projects for the community. But most importantly, Visible increases the likelihood that the residents of informal settlements, our true beneficiaries, receive a better urban response.
So, how does this work? With Visible, an urban planner's regular workday changes drastically. First, Valeria enters the Visible platform and types in the search bar the name of the city or neighborhood that she's working on, and she selects a specific site of the city to work on and asks our AI chat box a specific question. Let's begin with the housing unit layer. She asks, how many houses have appeared in this area within the last year? Visible cross-references the high-resolution satellite imagery with the local census records and is able to identify with precision every new rooftop and thus those that do not have an official address yet. Then, Valeria is able to turn on and select the water layer and ask, which of these houses are not connected to the official network of water sanitation system? The platform then overlays the pipeline network with the households and is able to project the coverage gap and the future demand. Finally, she asks with the transportation layer, where would the best bus route fit and have the highest impact in this neighborhood? It then calculates and highlights the strongest route for the strongest unmet demand. Now, Valeria is able to know how many new houses there are. She now knows how much water they consume. She now knows, finally, the commute patterns of these families. In just under an hour, Valeria has been able to, with evidence, gather enough information for her next meeting with the mayor.
We are starting where we know the territory best, Córdoba and Lima, two cities where we have access to institutional contacts and an existing technological infrastructure. Our beachhead covers over 1,800 municipalities across Peru and Argentina, and across Latin America, we have identified over 12,000 municipalities, and across the Global South, the number grows to more to 40,000 municipalities. Visible operates, our 3-tier model serves district, city, and metropolitan regions, making us accessible at every scale. Visible operates on a B2G subscription model, selling directly to local governments. We are a structured for-profit company with a social mission. We are planning to launch for the early 2027, our 2 pilots with municipalities in Córdoba and in Lima. And by the end of the same year, we are planning to work with 10 municipalities across Peru and Argentina. We are Pietro, Julieta, Facundo, Stephanie, and Alessandra, a Latin American team from Peru and Argentina with a full-hand experience working in informal settlements. We make the invisible visible. Thank you.
Okay. Nope. All right, our next team. You ready? Vision Road.
Deliver smarter surface analytics for safer airports. We all fly or care about someone who does. Every flight starts and ends on the runway. The runway is the most critical piece of infrastructure in air travel. All operators and engineers work every day in its maintenance, and yet it remains unseen. We went on a mission to understand how airports maintain their runways. Currently, airports rely on multiple vendors that cause airports to pay much more in lost revenue. Engineers use checkpoints to that misses most of the surfaces of the runways that cause at least 4 to 5 times higher cost to airports. Today's inspection practices are failing the people who maintain our runways, and that's the gap we identified, and that's the gap we are filling.
And that's where Vision Road comes in. We provide efficient and cost-effective AI-driven solution to monitor every help engineers and maintenance crews detect every distress, monitor its condition, and direct every maintenance dollar to where it's needed most. Vision Road runs on a 4-step pipeline. First, we capture data using drones. We diagnose and detect defects using machine learning and computer vision models. We generate automated quantity takeoffs for repair plans, and we predict and monitor where the next defect will appear. As an operator, and it's all developed under one platform, created under one platform. As an operator, you will be able to check all marking types across multiple runways and taxiways, and you will be able to generate automated material takeoff as part of a repair plan just in few hours compared to weeks of work. Year after year, cracks spread, and so the cracks expand, and so does the cost. Providing pavement monitoring is a crucial step in order to detect where the next spread is, next crack will happen, and it gives maintenance crew an early detection point on how they're gonna fix it. We already done a pilot study at a major university airport, and we proved to be much faster at a lower cost and at a higher accuracy with our analytics compared to a vehicle-based data approach evaluating marking conditions. We turn multi-day, multi-vendor partial coverage into inspection into one single flight with full coverage and with a faster analytics and backed by audit-ready defensibility.
Vision Road is the only tech-enabled solution that does analytics for pavement infrastructure for an affordable cost, faster, and even more accurate than our competitors. We have a large and promising market with a total TAM of around $11 billion. Our serviceable market alone is $3 billion. Our beachhead market is the East Coast, and we're already in conversations with Boston and Atlanta, and in the next 6 months want to expand to other major cities like Miami and New York. This is how we will reach our $20 million 5-year projection. Furthermore, after this, we would like to expand to other cities across the US and the world at large.
We have a simple 3-part revenue model. First, project-based services get us into airports and DOTs and generate early revenue. Next, our platform subscription enables operations teams to log into the platform daily, and that generates recurring revenue. And third, we have partnerships that will help us scale faster without growing headcount at the same rate. Our growth strategy starts in years 1 and 2, where we're proving out the model and building traction. From there, we will build our first recurring revenue in 2027 with our initial deployments. Then growth will accelerate, reaching an inflection point as we expand across multi-DOT networks and expand nationally. And finally, by 2032, we expect a 100-airport footprint. Right now, we're in the build and pilot phase, where we're testing through MITdesignX and early deployments. By 2027, we'll launch commercially and start to scale those partnerships. And finally, over time, we will grow our sales, reaching a very strong level at 2032. We will also increase our industry visibility through operating at major conference circuits. Our team has the expertise to take Vision Road to the next level, with experience spanning engineering, product, marketing, and business. We are Vision Road. We deliver smarter service analytics for safer airports. Come join us on this journey. We are just about to take off.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks, guys. Okay, here's the clicker. Yep. All right, our next team. I got it. Welcome, Monocle. Monocle Intelligence.
Hi, everyone. A little backstory before I get started. Before I joined MIT, I created one of India's largest physical asset management companies and was managing about 60 industrial facilities. The most painful part of my job was really to visit these facilities, even for the basic safety and production inspections. And even when I went to these facilities, the real state of these facilities absolutely never matched what the digital systems represented. And oh, I wish there was AI that could help me really understand these facilities in real time and really be able to augment what's really in my digital systems and what's actually happening on the ground. Well, it did make my work easy, but more on the knowledge work aspect when it comes about summarizing documents or just querying a database for a specific insight. And that's the $9 trillion global GDP, which has really transformed finance, legal, and has seen greater than 80% adoption in AI. But what is the black box? That's another $47 trillion of the global GDP that has seen less than 20% AI adoption. That's really our physical assets, manufacturing, warehousing, infrastructure. And so I thought to myself, what if AI could really answer questions and reason over the physical world as it reasons over a document or a database? And that's the obsession that led me to MIT, where really I wanted it to answer, hey, what's there in my facility? Where exactly is a particular element in the facility? When was it last moved? And how does it really impact elements around it? And that's why we started Monocle, where we take 3D scans, images, live videos, or recorded videos for that matter, to convert it into a real-time semantic spatial context layer that you can then query as you would literally query any other document. How that essentially works in practice, oops. OK, I think there's a technical glitch. The video is not working, but let me just explain this to you. Our IP really is that with this video, I was essentially able to ingest all these images of the facility floor, which annotated itself about all the elements that are there in this space. And eventually answering questions like, hey, exactly where is the table or where in the space is this favicol that was identified. And that essentially bridges this gap between reasoning models and the physical spaces, where now, once you have identified what exactly is there in a facility, where it is, you are now able to, in real time, understand and ask it questions just as you would with any other document. We offer this as a single ground truth layer, where, of course, what will really happen if you just have that spatial intelligence layer if you don't have the capability to understand it and develop that context across your digital systems. So this one ground truth essentially establishes a knowledge graph across your spatial intelligence, that layer that we provide, and the documents that you have in your system. So you finally have that one intelligence layer that combines your physical spaces and your digital context. Here is how I think about inspection in general. On the left-hand side, you'll see these large language models like OpenAI, Anthropic, that can really describe a specific image for you. And then as you move towards the right, you see a lot of computer vision reasoning companies that do detection. So really being able to detect, hey, like, what is something in a particular facility? But what spatial reasoning essentially does is it forms that intelligence layer over that, where it understands, hey, this transformer is placed too close to an electric equipment, which is a potential hazard. That's intelligence, and that's what we have been able to solve for. And we are taking this to the market one environment understanding at a time, starting with manufacturing. The reason for that, my experience, of course, comes from manufacturing extensively, and we also see this as a significant potential for robotics deployment. With some of our initial customers that we've been working with, the one use case that has taken a hair-on-fire problem with them is on compliance, where while they took about 5 weeks to do even the basic compliance check, sending 3 or 4 facility inspectors on the facility, they're now able to automate that process and bring this down to barely 30 minutes. They are able to do that dynamically instead of a point-in-time compliance as well, which really eases the process of compliance and also proactively helps them identify safety-related risks. Once this spatial twin actually exists, other use cases run on the same substrate. So you can literally ask questions like, hey, what is the dynamic analysis of how my facility looks like right now versus how it should really look like? Or what could be the potential collision points when I deploy a particular humanoid on my facility? Or just multi-site operational visibility on the multiple facilities that you manage at the same instant. Well, they say that time really passes by if you're enjoying the journey. That has exactly what has happened with us. In a short period of time, we have, of course, launched our MVP. We have completed a pilot program with one of the largest mid-market manufacturing companies. We've beaten a state-of-the-art technical benchmark on spatial reasoning that had participation from leading players in the industry. And we are in contacts to negotiate 2 very large contracts with Fortune 500 companies. How do we really differentiate from what's there in the market? A lot of players in the market have really solved for capture, but have not really been able to solve for that reasoning or intelligence layer. When we talk about Matterport, for example, they take a 3D scan, but they have absolutely no clue about annotating exact equipments there in the space automatically. The same goes for Autodesk, where they're creating digital twins, but that goes stale as soon as they're created because facilities really change so fast. And then, of course, the computer vision inspection company, they solve for vision, but they don't really solve for what the spatial context is. So really how far things are from each other. And those are the things that really need that understanding, and for high value use cases, those primitives are integral. That's the team. I mentioned about myself. I come from the industry myself. I'm also working as an AI researcher at CSAIL. My amazing co-founder, Sagar, has been working on spatial intelligence for over a decade. He's doing his PhD in computer science at Carnegie Mellon. We are supported by 2 very talented academic advisors and also supported by some leading organizations in the industry. One of them, of course, DesignX, that has been such an incredible part of our journey. We are turning the physical world into a queryable, intelligent, and autonomous system. Join us on this journey. Thank you.
Okay. Are we ready? Ashray, take it.
Thank you. Yep. Hey everyone. So, Ashray in Hindi means shelter. And at Ashray, we believe where you stay is grounds for who you become as a person. In India, every year, 48 million students enter higher education. 12 million of those students are leaving their primary residences and migrating to new cities, many of the times big cities. And only 2 million of them can find good quality housing. The remaining 10 million are struggling and are staying in very poor quality housing. To put that into context, that's larger than the combined population of New York City. Of all the issues that these students are facing, this can be bucketed into three broad categories. The first one is substandard housing. The second one is crippling loneliness. And the third one is unreliable operations. And why is this really happening? It's because this is a broken system. No one really had the incentive to create good quality housing in the first place. Families sign leases because there's no other options, and they're just happy to find something. Once the rent is paid, the landlord is nowhere to be found. And the buildings themselves were never designed for students. Where most of these students live are actually residential apartment buildings and condos made for families, where landlords are now trying to cram in as many students as they possibly can to increase the maximum rent. Introducing Ashray. So this is where we come in. Ashray is a purpose-built student housing platform which designs, builds, and operates student housing. We are very specific in terms of what markets we enter, and primarily these are tier 1 cities of India, which, as a good example again, would be New York City and NYU, where there's a lot of students in the heart of a city where real estate is already very expensive and a lot of students don't have good quality housing. A little about why I am working on Ashray and building this. I have had the fortune of being a student in India, the US, and the UK. I've experienced really good quality housing abroad, and I've also seen the terrible conditions where students currently live in India. My background also preps me to build this solution for India. I have a background at the combination of international real estate development, finance, and strategy, and I've seen what it takes to underwrite a deal. Understanding the pain points from the student's perspective and also understanding what it takes to make the deal work is why I feel I'm the right person to be building this. So what am I doing special? There's 3 pillars. The first one is architecture, the second one is community, and the third one is intelligence. And let me walk you through each of these. Talking of architecture, students are already paying very high rents. They're paying premium rents. It's just that the product quality does not match what they are currently paying. So most student housing in India, as I mentioned earlier, are converted apartments. And as a result, there's a lot of wasted space. At an average, it's 30 to 40% of wasted space. For the landlords to make this pencil, they have to fit in as many students as possible. At Ashray, we build ground up. We are very intentional with every square foot that has been allotted and keeping in mind what students need to live, to store, and to thrive. This is just a bit of the vision that we are trying to build. As you can see, every square foot where things are built, everything has been intentionally designed. So I can't stress enough on the word intentionality. And the fact that whatever we save in square footage has been passed on as lower cost for the students to rent and be able to afford this. The second pillar I want to speak about is community. We want to create shared spaces that allow people to come together. For most students, if not all students, feeling a sense of belonging to a place, a sense of affinity is integral. And that is really missing in the Indian context. People are just happy that they found housing and their whole life is on their bed. They sleep on their beds, they study on their beds, and they even eat dinner on their beds. We want to create shared spaces where all people can come together, find peers, find co-founders, and find lifelong friends. The third pillar that we're building is intelligence. Student housing in India is inundated with operational failures, misleading listings and brokers who can't be trusted, food quality that nobody tracks or fixes, and maintenance requests that never go heard. We are building a proprietary AI operating system that fixes all of this. And it's beneficial both ways. We, with each request and each complaint, are learning what can be optimized. At the same time, we are helping students have a better experience. So now, if there's an issue with your food quality, we know immediately and we can work to fix that. If the light bulb isn't working, we guarantee that it will be fixed in the next 24 hours. This is just a competitive landscape of some of the premium players in the market. At Ashray, we're giving you a combination of all the features because of our intentional design and our ground-up construction at a very affordable rate. I want to get this right. So, on the business model, Ashray connects two groups who need each other. We've already explored the demand side, where it's really simple. We're providing high-quality housing, and in exchange, we get rent from parents and their students and their kids. On the supply side, we're solving for a huge real estate problem in India right now. Traditional real estate in India is saturated. Margins are compressing. Landowners and developers are hunting for the next opportunity. And student housing is that solution. It is recession-proof, high occupancy, and completely untapped right now. Partners bring the land and the capital. Ashray builds it, designs it, and operates it, and we have a revenue share. In terms of where we are today, we just signed an LOI for a land parcel in the heart of Mumbai in last October. We will begin construction in August 2026, and the goal is to have 1,500 beds fully operational by mid-2028. The first phase is where we prove the concept. We prove ourselves not only as developers, but more importantly, high-quality operators. Once this proof of concept phase 1 has been accomplished, is when we move to phase 2, where we do India-wide expansion. We now have a brand and a reputation for being strong operators, and we partner up with high-quality landowners and developers, and that really helps us scale. So I'm just going to leave you with this last thought, that where you live shapes who you become. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are at the halfway mark of the pitches. I want to take this opportunity to have everybody stand up in your spot. Nobody leaves the room. Everyone just stand up, all right? All right, shake it off a little bit. Do this with your legs. Hands up, stretch for the sky. Until you feel those things. A little bit of this to the left. A little bit of this to the right. Hands down. Do a little forward roll. All right. Stop. Back roll. I have another one that you do this, but you hit everybody, so we won't. Okay, everyone feel good? Nice little stretch. You should always do that every hour, all right? Have a seat. And we're going to go to the next team. No, nobody leaves. They'll come back. Our next team is MITdesignX Forms. Take it away.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Yana Smith.
And I'm Sergio Mutis, and this is MITdesignX Forms, a robotic system for sustainable and programmable concrete construction. All right. So Concrete is the world's most widely used construction material, but building with it is slow, labor-intensive, and carbon-heavy. A key reason for this is that concrete needs to be reinforced with a reverse structure, and it needs to be shaped by casting it into formwork. These two steps, the rebar and the formwork, account for most of the cost and difficulties in concrete construction. In complex geometries, we can see up to 75% of the total project cost in rebar and formwork alone. And even when the geometries do not seem so complex, like with these infrastructure projects, the rebar and the formwork is still bespoke and drives a vast amount of the cost. This impacts stakeholders across the construction value chain, from precast manufacturers to general contractors to project owners, all of whom must contend with higher costs, unpredictable timelines, and material waste.
Our solution to this is an adaptable system for assembling a reinforced formwork using robots. This starts from a modular unit that combines both the reinforcement structure, so this lattice that substitutes in for rebar, with panels that can form an enclosed formwork. These blocks can then be iteratively assembled into much bigger structures. This forms a fully interconnected lattice, which again is substituting in for rebar, as well as an enclosed formwork that we can then cast in standard concrete mixes. Those formwork panels are then removed, and they are reusable, finalizing the structure. This way, we can assemble reinforced concrete structures with high performance and custom geometries. We're able to manufacture these reinforcing lattices using a range of materials. Importantly, we can use standard construction materials, such as steel. And in steel, we're able to exceed the performance of rebar at 25% lighter, which enables us to substantially save on the amount of material that we're using in a given structure. The modular nature of the blocks then allows us to increase the geometric complexity of what we're assembling without increasing the cost. This means that it's much more cost-effective to build customizable or optimized geometries than with existing approaches. Next, because we're using mobile robots, we have a route towards on-site automation, which helps address labor shortages that are currently impacting the entire industry. Additionally, because our robots are fairly small, it means that we can introduce automation without introducing the headaches that large equipment or machinery tend to introduce, which is what current approaches usually use. Our system has three main features. One, that we're doing the rebar and the formwork as a simultaneous process. Two, that we can increase the complexity of the geometry of what we're building without increasing the cost. And three, that we are reducing the overall amount of materials used for a given structure. These three features together allow us to save time, save costs, and save emissions as compared to how concrete construction is done today. And these numbers all stem from our years of published academic research on these topics. We have recently secured a pilot partnership with a precast concrete manufacturer out in Western Mass, and we view low-cost automation for precast manufacturers as our beachhead market. Precast facilities today in the US are highly manual and yet also extremely labor constrained. Their two largest costs go into material use and into the labor cost for tedious and repetitive operations. And our system is able to help them with both and can enable them to free up labor for more complex tasks where it's needed. We view this pilot as a great opportunity for us to test our hypotheses as well as to further advance our system towards market readiness.
All right. We see our reach expanding through three main phases. So first, we'll start with our robotics system model for precast manufacturers. Then, in the next 5 years, we will consolidate into the 250 million serviceable precast market. And following that, we'll expand our products and eventually tap into the 136 billion cast-in-place market. To do so, we have a clear timeline. So from 2023 to 2025, we developed the technology and filed the patents for it. At the beginning of this year, with MITdesignX, we finished our customer and market research. And now we're focusing on the pilot project to get our product to be ready so that by 2027, we acquire our first batch of precast manufacturer customers. And our team is uniquely situated to take on this challenge. Together, we hold over 8 years of experience in construction robotics, developing systems, working in the industry, and securing key strategic partnerships. teaching and publishing in key academic venues, and being recognized for it. And we're both graduating this summer, and we're ready to take this technology from the lab into the real world.
Great. Thanks, Okay, next up, Guara.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody stand, wake up. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Isabelle. In Brazil, you have this disparity of housing. This is a picture of São Paulo.
As you can see on one end, there's ultra-luxury condos.
And on the other hand, informal settlements with lack infrastructure and a...
In Brazil, there's a 6 million unit housing deficit. People live in the favelas not because they want to, but because they have to.
And shockingly, more than 0.5% of the population in favela are middle class.
The Brazilian government has tried to solve this problem by creating affordable, for-sale housing. However, this model is broken because these buildings are created extremely cheaply.
Well, the government saw that this is a problem. The government saw that the past units built in the last years look like a prison. So they decided to change that. And this year, in January, they launched the first affordable housing for rent program.
And this is how the program works. The government will provide the land for free and subsidize majority of the rent and provide a guaranteed wait list.
And this is how developers are doing affordable housing in Brazil. They build, they sell, and they leave. They leave those ugly buildings that don't last.
So, in order for affordable rental housing to work in Brazil, a new type of real estate company is needed. Not one that builds, sells, and then leaves, but one that designs, holds, and operates.
And this is exactly what we are creating. This is Guara.
We envision creating beautiful communities that are designed to last and make people feel like they belong. And by doing this, we aim to fill the market gap for missing affordable rental housing in Brazil.
Favelas have something beautiful. The color, the community, the belonging. We keep that. We take our hurts, then save the lack of infrastructure. We're gonna build communities that have open courtyards so people can see each other. We're gonna build open space, and we're gonna use common areas so entrepreneurs can work there and provide for the community.
And good design means optimizing every square foot. We aim to create compact units with livable layouts.
You're gonna use modular plants, and when we put that together in a very intelligent and smart way, and we combine that using this hybrid infrastructure, we're gonna save costs while we build something that actually is beautiful.
Then we aim to hold for the long term.
How we can pencil this? How we can build beautiful housing and provide housing that is cheap? Well, the government gave us the land for free. And part of the land, it's for sale. So we're gonna use that profit to build out the for rent part.
The government subsidizes majority of the rent. This guarantees low rents for families, but also guarantees quality units for them too. And on the investor side, guaranteed government-backed rental income also means guaranteed cash flows.
And this is an institutional grade return profile with a 2.5% multiple.
Holding for long term also means dialing in the operations.
We're gonna operate the buildings. We're gonna streamline the operations, augment, use AI and other applications, decreasing staff, using a lot of self-service, and by that, reducing operational costs.
And the timing is now. Timing is important because this is the first major for rent affordable housing initiative by the Brazilian government, and they've already expanded into 12 cities. By being a first mover, this guarantees that Guará can build the necessary connections and lead on the bidding process.
And we are the right team to do it. I'm Brazilian. I bring the Brazilian side. I was part of the founding team at Greystar Brazil, the biggest build-to-rent company in the whole globe. I raised 1.1 billion reais, and I operate 1.7 billion. And Sophia here brings us the US experience. She managed more than $500 million in projects and built up more than 1,000 units. Together, we bring the local market experience and the global knowledge to build this.
So what are we looking for? We're looking for people to help us build this out. Mission-driven architects, builders, investors, and institutional partners.
Government partners are how we start, but private partners is how we scale this. Our goal is very simple, is to build rental communities that it's for belonging, build up communities, and buildings that actually build to last, and provide real housing for Brazilians, 1 million of Brazilians. Join us.
Thank you. Okay. Our next team, please welcome Softmetrics.
Remember when 3D printing was behind closed lab doors? And then these small desktop-sized machines came along and anybody could suddenly prototype and iterate. That single shift democratized a tool and then unleashed a decade of innovation. Let's talk about innovation today. Look around. Your shoes, your jacket, the seatbelt in your car, maybe the airbag that could save your life, or the sleeve of an astronaut's suit. All of these examples show that textiles are technology. Someone had to design that, someone tested that, and someone had to prove that they would actually behave like they need to. Similar to 3D printing, textile production nowadays can be smaller, smarter, sometimes even cheaper. A 2-person lab can now do what required a factory just 10 years ago. But here's the catch. Production tools have scaled down, evaluation tools have not. Industrial testing equipment is large, and a full setup can cost up to $100,000. To get credible results, testing is usually outsourced, but that can mean waiting weeks for answers. We spoke to over 50 textile researchers, and it's not surprising that they become really inventive when it comes to testing their samples. We heard stories of people measuring stretch with rulers or using everyday objects as a weight. Well, they did a rebound test using a ball, hit the sample. And it's like brilliant people, it's brilliant ideas, but they're being held back. Either you improvise, and then you lose reproducibility, or you wait and lose momentum, as well as a significant chunk of your budget. In both ways, innovation is being slowed down.
We ran into these issues ourselves, and that drove us to build Softmetrics. Fast, small, credible, accessible, customizable, and easy to use. At its core, Softmetrics is a multi-axial textile testing device, meaning it can pull, bend, and stress fabrics along 3 axes. It's oriented after industry standard test protocols. That means the data isn't just numbers. It will hold up in a lab report or in a product spec sheet. This is how it works. Our device connects to your laptop or your desktop computer. The calibration samples help you set up the machine and put in the right parameters. Testing itself is super easy. You can pick a given preset for your sample, or our software can create a protocol for you. Everything else is executed by the push of a button. The inbuilt screen shows you the applied force in real time, and a simple toggle lets you pause, adjust, and restart a test. Results happen in minutes, no making samples with exact measurements, no shipping, no waiting. After testing, everything is stored on the device and in your digital test archive. The unit itself is portable, so it travels with you to the lab, the studio, or the factory floor. At the end, the data exports as CSV, PDF, or Excel, whatever your workflow demands. What makes Softmetrics especially valuable is its reconfigurability. And we mean reconfigure literally. We kept the frame deliberately hackable. If your test doesn't exist yet, you can build one. These are the 3 different test setups: tensile strength, 3-point bending, and biaxial stress, all done with the same hardware. Mechanically, that means the gripper system, axis configuration can be swapped and exchanged. The inherent modularity of the machine enables us to implement more end effectors, and we plan on growing this library continuously. But if you happen to be in a hurry, please go ahead, use standardized hardware or printed accessories to build your personal setup.
So Softmetrics will have a B2C model in the pilot phase to ensure quality control, but will eventually adopt a B2B model. Both will come with the hardware and software that goes hand in hand. But honestly, this package is only half the story. The other half is community. Beyond the hardware, users have access to a collaborative data bank where they can publish protocols, compare results, and contribute to a growing body of textile knowledge, the way scientific research was supposed to be. We're creating a shared infrastructure beyond the individual hardware. And this is how we lower access to textile R&D by putting credible testing in the hands of people traditionally priced out of it. And testing isn't just for material scientists. We built the interface and documentation specifically so that designers and researchers across disciplines can engage without the steep learning curve. And we are a team of design researchers at MIT with experience in textiles, digital fabrication, and computation who hopes to contribute to the network we're already part of. And we'll extend this into institution and design labs, and eventually the broader soft material testing ecosystem. And currently, we are building our hardware platform. Over the next year, we'll finalize our beta system and conduct the first round of user testing with researchers already lined up across industry and academia. Our vision for Softmetrics is to become the machine on every researcher's desk. Hackable, adjustable, accessible, and built to deliver maximum insight and flexibility with minimal footprint. And with us, we can help you stretch your textiles and not your budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Guys ready? Our next team is Well Space.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl, this is Edward, and we are WellSpace. Did you know that enjoying your home is a leading cause of happiness? We spend about 3/4 of our entire lifetime at home, and this space really affects us. About half of the residents in the US say their current home setup negatively impacts their mental health. But the good thing is that the home can also be an incredibly powerful tool to improve your mental well-being by about 30% with effective design choices. Things like an organized furniture layout with good flow, harmonized colors and materials, and effective use of natural light and plants are all proven to be extremely effective at reducing stress and improving comfort. But these are not trivial things to pull off on your own. We've talked to a lot of people across the country, and what we keep hearing from residents is that even though they recognize a good space when they're in it, they struggle to create it on their own. Jake from Kansas City said about a couch that he bought after measuring it out that it just felt and looked too big in his space, and it was awkward. And this is the reality for millions of people every day. So the problem is most residents without design skills end up living in spaces that slowly drain them. The solution is to make expert home design available to everyone to help people feel restored at home. And we do need a solution now because we're spending more time than ever at home. We're increasingly concerned about our mental well-being, but we now also have the technology to make personalized design scalable.
That's where WellSpace comes in. Our proprietary algorithm diagnoses design issues at your home. It recommends layout solutions instantly and connects users directly to real products that fit their budget. Most people live in their dream home already. They just don't know it yet. Let us show you.
Is there audio? All right, so this is supposed to be a very warm female voice talking about how you start by scanning your home with the app, filling out a survey about the types of space that you're looking to redo, some potential flaws like visual clutter. I'll let her take over.
Oh, she's back.
We analyze daylight, movement, and activity zones, and then propose targeted changes to improve comfort, flow, and visual connections in your space. You can personalize the design through different options and compare the before to the after. Finally, you can shop the relevant products based on your budget or simply explore the new design and how it changes the way you feel at home.
All right, so basically, WellSpace helps you go from, I don't know why I feel off here, to, oh, I know exactly what's needed and how to get it done. It eliminates the overwhelming guesswork of layout planning and furniture selection. It unlocks design expertise without the premium price tag, but most importantly, it helps you feel restored and uplifted by your home every day.
We're targeting urban renters, one of the fastest growing segments in the country. We serve renters going through life transitions, moving into their first space, moving in together, having growing families, and secondarily, university students looking to improve their room or homeowners looking to spruce up their spaces. Our business model is threefold. First, commission revenue from affiliate aggregators and brand partnerships that allows us to provide our service free to all users who can select the brands that fits their taste and budget. Second, consumer subscriptions for power users who want regular wellness tips, seasonal upgrades, and advanced personalizations. And finally, enterprise partnerships with multifamily operators looking to bolster their tenant amenity offerings, as well as employer wellness benefits. We're targeting the over $300 billion market of home furnishings in the US. Capturing just 0.5% of that online spending gets us to $440 million in gross merchandise value flowing through our platform. That leads to a $60 million annual revenue. We believe we'll be successful because the current tools we have today don't fit our residents' needs. Wellness apps are not spatial. Design guides are analog. 3D software have a steep learning curve. AR furniture placement tools don't provide the full context, and AI photo editors hallucinate. WellSpace is the first and only app focused on improving spatial wellness. It's research-based, automatic, contextual, and accurate.
Edward and I are both architects with experience in housing and tech. I've led large housing retrofit projects in Boston, and my MIT research is focused on spatial quality metrics. Edward brings tech experience, having built prop tech apps before, and is currently pursuing an MBA. And together, we're committed to making this happen because, as said before, the spaces we live in shape who we are. So let's design them to bring out our best. And if you'd like to support us, we'd love to talk to any furniture vendors, multifamily operators, and prop tech partners that you may know. And if you'd like to sign up for the beta, you can do that at wellspaceapp.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next team, Convoca. You get
Hi, I'm Cassandra. This is Maggie, and we're part of Convoca. Imagine a community park project with an open space where the community needs to decide what to do. Leaders in the city are mandated to listen to the community and decide what to do based on what they hear. But the community is diverse. Some people want a basketball court, other people want a skate park, and after hosting some town halls, the leaders decide that the skate park is the best option. But when they share it back to the community, they feel frustrated and block the implementation. So why did this happen? First, leaders don't know who they were hearing and whether their feedback was representative. Second, they make decisions based on vibes and not data. And third, communities don't hear from the leaders until the very end when it's too late. And the consequences of this are frustrating. There's wasted public resources, fractured trust and polarization, and communities feel powerless in civic spaces. So we ask, what if we took a more relational, responsive, and rigorous approach to civics?
So we are Convoca, which means to call together. And Convoca is a civic data system that helps leaders and communities co-create durable, data-backed decisions that strengthen civic practice. And who do we serve? Visionary leaders. So if you know the fictional character Leslie Knope of Parks and Recreation, we imagine her. But these leaders exist in the world, people that have a vision for strong civic engagement, such as Liz Hamby, our first partner, who is the Director of Civic Engagement from New York City. And she says of Convoca that it represents a transformative approach to community engagement. Now let's think of Liz and Leslie when we're approaching our system. The first thing we do to support them is design campaigns so they can reach their people. We scaffold campaign design through our interface and help them track their progress towards goals. Are they reaching the people that they need? Are they seeing gaps? Okay, great, so they've reached that full constituency, but oh dear, it looks like they missed the Mahjong group that plays in the park. So we highlight that inequity in reach. We highlight this by saying, okay, geographically, who are you hearing from? What are they saying? And who are you missing? Beyond this geographic scope, we also support through a social network approach. So maybe it's not just a geography, but we're missing a certain cultural group. And we can highlight that based off of who we're reaching within our community via social network systems. Great, so we now have a more representative sample of folks in this process. What we do is then we bring all voices gathered through many sources and make sense of them all through one interface. This can include data gathered through workshops, mapping exercises, recorded conversations, or sticky notes. We bring all of these various sources into one interface and allow them to make sense of those data sources through qualitative analysis, but also AI-supported mechanisms such as summarization. We allow them to find insights, but also scaffold to go actually to the end, to decisions, and link those voices to the decisions. Once all of those connections are made, we iterate and provide fast feedback loops, not just once, but multiple times again and again. Now, what do these feedback loops look like? They show all voices collected throughout the engagement process and how they've informed the outcomes through public-facing interfaces such as this one, which we co-developed in New York in the White Plains Road Corridor project. And then finally, based off of this whole system, we work together so these communities can act. And what does this look like? Decisions that are made, explanations of those decisions. If a tennis park was the choice, why? And what voices inform that choice, including your voice. How did it play a role in that process? So this sounds great, but who are our competitors? Currently, the status quo is that visionary leaders like Liz and Leslie try their best with fragmented systems. There are civic technologies that are trying to respond to this challenge, but they're often modular, focusing primarily on collecting voices or mapping out existing relationships. Convoca takes a systems approach that's actually backed in our research. Rather than saying, let's focus on one area, we try to bring these folks that could have been competitors to be collaborators, saying we can take data gathered via these systems and bring them together into our system in an overarching process for the community engagement approach.
And our business model has 3 tiers. First, technology licensing, where pricing is scaled by organization size. We also have Convoca Studios, where we provide hands-on sense-making and practice support, and research collaborations with cutting-edge AI and civic engagement work. We have worked with the New York City Department of City Planning, as well as 2 community organizations in North Carolina and Boston, and we're ready to expand. There's over 10,000 cities in the US that we want to explore, and over 100,000 advocacy groups. And we also learned that large companies want to use this for their internal listening work. And large institutions, they already spend over $1 million a year on community engagement, and these large cities along the coast are our beachhead market. So this year, we've placed in a few prizes and pitch competitions. We've also supported our second neighborhood plan in New York City and finished conducting over 100 discovery interviews, publishing research, and right now we're finalizing 2 paid contracts. And our goal is by summer 2027, having 5 community organizations and 5 cities as customers, which would make our venture sustainable.
And we're the team to do this. So myself and Cassandra are PhD students in the Media Lab currently, and our partner Emily Lin is a researcher at Harvard, and we are co-founders of Convoca. Between us, we have expertise in computer-supported cooperation, AI for qualitative analysis, and community engagement support. Now, how can you support us? Do you have projects that are struggling within your community? Are you a Liz or Leslie and a visionary leader? We need champions who share our vision to work with us. Join us in transforming your community's governance. Convoca, from participation to power.
Are you ready? You're taking us home. All right? Wood spray. You'll be on when you get, yeah.
How do I go forward?
Huh?
How do I go forward? This?
One of them.
One of them? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and, yeah, sticking with us. This project started because sawdust is one of the largest sources of industrial waste. There's billions of tons of this sawdust being discarded every year, and companies spend billions of dollars getting rid of it, either by landfilling it or by burning it. I mean, look at that. They also bind it with very toxic synthetic resins to create low-value products like MDF and particle board. These products are not only extremely toxic for the environment, but also very toxic for us as human beings. So we decided, you know, what if we were to rethink this and mix this waste with bio-based additives that are naturally occurring in trees, like nanocellulose and lignin, to create wood spray. Wood spray is going from wood waste to wood fashion, from wood waste to wood furniture, from wood waste to wood panels, from wood waste to wood structures, from wood waste to fully biodegradable, robotically applied structural materials. Simply put, wood spray is a new way of building. Now, I'm going to tell you why we like the material. So this little puck that I have in my hand has these 3 ingredients: sawdust as the filler, lignin as the binder, nanocellulose as the reinforcement. And they have very good compression strength. They're as strong as structural foam and as light as 50 times lighter than concrete. It also cures via oxidation. So no heating is required, which makes it very energy efficient. And we can spray multi-performing gradient materials as we change the recipe. So we can have dense when we need structural, porous when we need acoustic, and hydrophobic when we need exteriors. Traditionally, if you cast concrete, you can have only concrete all the way through. And if you need layers, you'd have to have adhesives. So we can have the performance, adaptability, and flexibility with one material. We've also tested the material in our labs here at MIT. We've freeze-proofed, water-proofed, UV-proofed, and a bonus is it can also grow some nature on it. So in a poetic way, we're bringing it back to nature. We've built a series of prototypes. We've tested different recipes, different ingredients, different adhesion protocols. You can see them out there. And we've also decided to scale. So that's me sitting in a chair. That's a robot, Hilda. And basically, we decided to grow a seat just because we thought it would be comfortable. And this is a bit of the process of the chair growing. And indeed, it was very, very comfortable. We also really like the material because we're able to create very intricate organic shapes with design freedom. We were able to spray this whole geometry within 1 day. And you can imagine it. But I know what you're all thinking now. Matteo, how will you make any money? So let me tell you about my newly minted business plan. Let's go. So we start small. The idea would be we start with acoustic panels, furniture. They're easy to regulate, easy to distribute, and fast to produce. And then as we scale the product, we scale the market. Eventually, we move into pavilions and temporary shelters. And the idea would be long-term, we can disrupt the construction industry. Why we've decided to see it this way is because Steelcase, the largest manufacturer of furniture in the US, is currently evaluating our acoustic samples. Google has commissioned us to build a pavilion in their campus so we can test how the material will develop over time. Does it trap moisture? And the Luma Lab in France are key European distributors, and they're helping us with the R&D of the material. So just to be clear, we don't compete with these brands. We power their circular product lines. Their waste becomes our feedstock, and our products become their revenue. We take their waste, we make products, they sell it, we charge margins, and eventually we can license and profit by charging royalties. Wood waste is just the beginning. Even though it's a $750 billion market, the idea would be that we can scale the markets because we're waste agnostic. We can grab agricultural waste, put it through a system. We can grab food waste, put it through a system. So we would have a universal waste to material platform. Let me brag about my team for a little bit. We have XDD, Skylar, Marcelo. We're builders first. We built very hard things before, from lunar habitats to spacesuits to AI hardware companions. And we value curiosity over certainty. And the good news is that you can also join our team. How? First, you can give us your money. Just kidding. 2, you can connect us to chemical engineers, a biologist. You can talk to your architecture friends, furniture friends, and maybe one day we can all wood spray together. Thank you.
All right. He's nothing but blunt. All right. You like it? It's good, eh? All right. That was incredible, all 12 teams. Your work has paid off. It was beautiful. And now, you guys have some work. I'm going to ask our judges. You can stay here if you want, or you can go into the other room and do some deliberation, and then come back to us with winners. All right. Grab a drink. Okay. But I'm going to invite Svava to join me up on stage again, because we have some work for you guys, too.
You only have 15 minutes.
And you only have 15 minutes,
You only
judges?
get 15 minutes, because we have to entertain you for 15 minutes, and that's hard.
Okay.
So,
all right, so we're going to start singing.
oh, I forgot the time capsule. Nope, hang on. Everything has been happening today, like kind of a little bit interesting. And I forgot the time capsule.
Right.
So, but we just heard from Evan. He's in the emergency room. He's fine. So he's going to be fine. But we have a time capsule. Okay, 10-year anniversary. After another 10 years of DesignX, we will open this thingy with your ideas and your drawings and your message to the future. But before we do that, we have to warm you up.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 2 word clouds. So point your cameras or your phones at this thing and tell us in 10 years, design will have changed how we, whatever you want to say. Let's start with that. Few minutes. Oh, how we live. How we think. I like that. How we connect. How we dream. That's beautiful. How we survive. Yes. Relate, create.
Nice.
Connect. How we love. How we build. I think we saw a lot of that today. Move, play, imagine, eat together. Maybe the furniture we saw in the last presentation. We can eat that.
These are all great descriptions of design.
Yeah.
Design will change how we design. Very meta. Cool. Build, work, and dream are starting to win. I like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, guys, come
all
on.
Right.
Build, work, and dream. Is that the thing, or do you have something else to add? Ooh. See the world.
Yeah.
Educate. Communicate. Innovate.
Now it's getting too small for me to see.
Okay, you can borrow my glasses. Me.
All right.
Play. Okay. Few more seconds, and then we could go to our second one. Oh, I forgot to time there. I forgot to time the panelists.
Oh.
Okay. They will have a tough job. Okay, so who is winning? You can see the winners, Gilad, right? You can see the winners.
Oh, the winners of this?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah, and the other ones.
I don't know the other winners. All right. Live and love. And survive. Interesting.
Well, this is what this is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can read into that statement, but yes.
Uh-oh, and AI is coming up there.
Oh.
Die. All right.
Okay. All right. I think this one is good.
Who put meow?
Meow. Okay. Okay. Then, how can design help build a future that is more So, go to work. Future that is more safe, sustainable, fair. PowerPoint? The future is more PowerPoint?
You want more PowerPoint?
I thought you had enough
Oh,
PowerPoint.
yeah, we got lots of PowerPoint.
Oh my God, I might have written that, but
God.
you know. Okay, PowerPoint is losing the battle here. Enjoyable.
Fun. Fun's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like
fair.
All right.
Real. Equal. Beautiful. It's more science.
Anti-fragile. I like that one.
Ooh, anti-fragile.
Like you lot. Oh, God.
Visionary, resilient. Meow is back.
Yeah.
So we have PowerPoint and Meow. Okay. I look forward to the next 10 years.
Unbounded and empathetic. I like those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Human.
Clay Aiken.
Huh? Clay Aiken. Okay. Meow 2.
Okay, now we're having
okay,
fun.
Meow
Here.
2. Okay, we're going to do Meow 3. Meow 4. Okay. More MIT.
Yeah. More polite. That would be nice.
Okay.
And the dog people are coming in now.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. Empathetic.
Okay.
Caring. Oh, you are feeling very good today.
Okay.
Okay. So, and we have a heart.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Head, hand, and heart. That's good. Okay. And sweet and joyful. Okay. And we have these emojis coming. More powerful. I like that. Powerful is coming in strong. Meow is actually very strong. So we are PowerPointing Meow.
Does that mean PowerPoint is getting a lot of votes? What's going on here?
There is some tricksters in this room, I see. So this is the latest MIT hack, to hack the word cloud. Okay. This is how this cohort has actually been.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you done? Yeah? We're good with this one. So who won, Gilad? Can you say it?
Well, Meow is coming up, taking over here.
Okay, whoever puts Meow in the time capsule will get the prize in 10 years.
Okay. Okay. Human and sexy. All right. Okay, now it's going to start getting X-rated, so we better move on.
Okay, that has to go into the time capsule. Okay,
right. Yeah.
So thank you for playing. Now, you all have, maybe you're sitting on it, but you all have little pieces of paper on your seat, and you should have a pen. And this is the question that matters. This is the big one. This is the one that goes into the time capsule, and the time capsule reads, Futures in the Making, MITdesignX. And on your way out, what's going to happen is that now you have to, we're going old school. You're just going to write on a piece of paper your answer to this question, but you can draw, what is that? Oh, and I just touched it with my hands.
Yeah, you're supposed to have gloves on when you touch it.
Oh my God. Okay, whatever.
So they can't track us.
But so what's going to happen? You draw, you can write a poem, you can write one word, you can write your life story, you can illustrate, you can put new emojis, whatever you feel like at the moment. And that thing is going to go in here. But because this is relatively small, so what we want you to do is that Lauren and Jen are going to be by the door by the time we leave. And when you leave, remember to put your sticker into the baskets that they will hand you. We will then take them and put them into the time capsule after the event.
Push them in.
And any questions?
Where are we putting the time capsule?
In our office,
Okay.
in our new math warehouse that we're moving to in August.
Yep. I'll come back.
Oh, there's a question? No. Totally up to you. If you, That's a great question, actually. So if you want to write your name, please do, but you don't have to write your name. Just have to tell us how can design create a more equitable, sustainable, and joyful future. So all of the teams that you've seen today have been striving to achieve this in their own way. So now you get the chance to write that script for us. So in 10 years, when we have the 20-year celebration, we're going to open this thing up. We're going to create a collage and see what came out.
And you're all invited to come to the 20th anniversary of DesignX. It will be in 10 years. It will be in our new building across the street on Mass Ave. So if everybody doesn't know, like Svava said, we're moving in August to the Met warehouse together with most of the School of Architecture and Planning and the Morningside Academy for Design. We're going to have a great place to showcase our students' work and just do a lot more of what we do. It's a beautiful space. People who are at MIT, you might have seen it already, but it's going to be live in August. And we're also in November.
Yes.
In November, we're going to be holding our 10th anniversary celebration. So this is the 10th anniversary pitch. We're going to do it again as a big celebration, bring in our alumni from the past 10 years, all the people we've worked with around the world, and for a full day of events. So you'll be posted for that.
It's November 5th.
November 5th.
But we're going to stop talking.
Yeah.
You get creative.
Yep.
We count on you. So we have something really cool to show in 10 years' time. It requires patience to wait.
How much time we have the
So
judges?
I'm going to go and check on the panelists to see if they've left the building or if they're about to come back. So we give you a few minutes to do that. Please don't leave the room because they will come, and then we'll give out $40,000 in 4 different checks. So wait for it. All right.
More. 30,000 plus 25.
25. Okay, I can't do math. 55,000. I did the same thing. Props. I gave you the wrong number. 55,000, everybody. Woo.
Okay, we have winners.
That's good.
All right.
One, if you have more than one.
We got lots of winners. We got lots of money. Lots of am I on? Okay. Lots of winners, lots of money to give out. Everybody, either take your seats or stay standing. That's fine. But give your attention to Marion. Marion is going to make some announcements.
Can you put the black slide features in and can put this one up?
I am delighted to announce
Thank you.
our 3 award winners. For the Impact Award, we are acknowledging Visible. So Visible.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Here, come on up here and give them the...
Visible, you guys are seen.
Hey. Yeah, great.
We would like to give the Innovation Award to Wood Spray.
Hey, congratulations. Great stuff. Congratulations.
And Best Pitch Award goes to Wellspace.
Great job.
Fantastic.
Well done.
Great job. I even signed up during the presentation.
Do you already have a mic? Okay. All right. I'm gonna.
All right. Well, it's no longer safe out there because it's safe in here time. So actually, before I say anything, I want to take a moment to thank Gilad, Saba, and Lauren for everything that's been poured into building the MITdesignX into the program that it is today. And congratulations on a successful 10 years and what the meaning and impact this program has had on all the people. We saw the video, and the video was incredible, but the impact and the meaning that was in there is really incredible. So thank you. Now, DesignX is a program that just doesn't teach founders how to build companies, but challenges them to reimagine the cities, spaces, and systems that shape how we live, work, and move through the world. So the ventures here aren't chasing necessarily the next app, the hottest chip, or algorithm, while often they use that. They're rethinking the built environment itself, the materials we build with, the infrastructures we depend on, the communities we make invisible, the voices we lose. That takes a particular kind of courage and creativity. And MITdesignX is one of the only places in the world that deliberately cultivates that. So today, I'm proud to introduce the first of what will be an annual prize at this event. A prize unlike any other I'm aware of. What I have in my hand right now is the signed $25,000 safe investment note. A real venture investment ready to be presented to the winning company today. And built into this instrument is something unique. When the safe converts, MIT will hold an equity interest in the company alongside me. So for DesignX, MIT will be on your cap table from day one. Now, venture capital runs on signals, and there's no stronger signal for an early stage company's life than having your first outside capital arrive with MIT as a co-investor behind it. So this prize is a declaration that one team, working at the intersection of design, business science, and technology, has the vision to take on a critical challenge facing the future of cities and the human environment, and the foundation to build something real and lasting from this room. The winning company starts with an insight so simple, it's almost disarming. That if the formwork doesn't have to come down. Concrete construction has worked the same way for generations. You build the mold, you pour the concrete, you strip the mold away and discard it. That temporary framework accounts for 25% of the 25 to 30% of the concrete as we learned today. And so it's time to announce the winner of the SAFE. In what's been a genuine innovation in the building environment, I'm happy to announce that Appiday Forms is the winner of today's SAFE Award. Congratulations. It's not a big foam check, but you can buy a lot of them with it. Congratulations, that's the safe note. And we'll review it later. But if you want, stand for the pictures. It's all good. Awesome.
Wow. And stick around. Jim, thank you. This is, come here. Thank you. And thank you all for the, well, for the gift, for the investment, and for making these tough decisions. We're about to wrap up. So one big reminder, when you leave this room, make sure you hand in what is going into the time capsule. We'll get it at the end of the room. And then all the teams, all DesignXers, please stay here. You're going to get on the stage and take a photograph. We can actually do that as we go, and nobody has to leave. You can just hang out. But I want to thank you. Thank everybody online, too. We had a lot of people viewing us. This is recorded, so we can share it with other people afterwards, too. So it's not just today. This is going to be a living document, as we say. This is fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. 10 years in the making, and then 10 years more in the making till we do it again for another 10 years. I mean, forever. Bye, everybody. Thanks.